Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. In this video I want to cover another exciting project, and that's Basic Attention Token. Now these guys are trying to change the digital advertising landscape, and they've got a fantastically well written white paper here. I just want to show you this before we dive into it. The fall of newspaper ad revenue and how much advertising now happens online. So look here through the 90s where we reached the peak in the 2000s when all these tech stocks started springing up and it just fell off a cliff, and newspapers went online for a little bit and we had this bounce, but then again that too has just fallen away, and now so much of our lives is lived by those couple of companies. Google and Facebook here are responsible for 99% of all growth of ad revenue, guys. So this is a big issue. This is what they're trying to tackle. They're trying to cut out the middlemen here between all the publishers and marketers to us, the end users. So let's dive in and have a look at this project here. So, trying to really revolutionize the efficiency of digital advertising by using this token that allows the exchange between advertisers, publishers, and users to occur all on the Ethereum blockchain. And that token itself has a number of use cases. So, used to obtain advertising and attention-based services on that platform, but we'll also talk about how users that like content can start to, give back to those publishers that they like. And we've seen so many big YouTubers get demonetized, and it's very hard as a startup YouTuber to make any money on those platforms like Steam and those other options. So it's great to see that there'll be a way now for people and good content creators to possibly monetize their content and their creations. So people are willing to pay. The big corporations are willing to pay for your focus, mental attention, and you will have read these stories about they want your eyeballs, they want your attention. That's where all the money is in the future, and this is why I think this project has a lot of advertising money that's in this industry that it can capture in the future. So users have been abused, and this is, as I said, a great white paper. Have a read of it if you want to dive deeper, but up to 50% of users' mobile data is being used to load these ads and trackers, and it costs you money. You probably don't even think about it. It takes time to add all those loads that you don't want to look at. It uses battery life when you're on the road, violating your privacy with all these different trackers. And then all those ads that you don't want and you're not interested in, they flash up, not to mention the ransomware that occurs on all your devices that's forever increasing. I just mentioned how much of a lion's share Google and Facebook have, but ad revenue is falling substantially because people are wising up to this and using these ad blockers now on their devices, and publishers can't easily monetize those services. And a couple of reasons for that, and a lot of marketers they're getting fooled by these bogus websites. So bots and click farms and all that sort of thing can let you think that you're hitting your target audience or a lot of people, where that might not be the reality. And I love these projects where blockchain solves a real world problem and we cut out that middleman as well. So this is going to make targeting better whilst emphasizing and placing importance on your privacy still. So step one is this Brave browser. So fast, open source. We love these open source projects. Privacy focused. It blocks those mail advertisements and trackers. Obviously we know it has the blockchain at the heart of all this as well, but you can accurately reward those publishers, which we spoke about. The token itself, we just spoke about how that's used between the users of the platform, but its utility, and this is what I like about future possible growth of the token, the value is derived by user attention and the focus of your eyeballs, as I spoke about before. So attention is really that mental engagement on your ad, on your content, whatever the people are paying for you to be looking at. They want to know that you are looking at that. So once these all come together, this is going to be great. I'm using the Brave browser today. It is in beta. They want to roll out plugins and extensions, so this can be used widely in the future, as well as their own browser. We'll skip through all that there, guys. Have a read of that and that white paper in more detail if you like. But as we said, it's really the big winner here is cutting out all the middlemen here. So let's take a look at the team. Brendan Ike is a superstar here. So he created JavaScript. He's co-founded Mozilla and Firefox. If you're like me, you will have used those browsers over the years. but other co-founder here as well from Khan Academy. Guys, check out Khan Academy on YouTube if you haven't already. But this whole team has got, plenty of relevant experience, and they're a bit older than a lot of the teams we've covered. So it worries me when I see, 18-year-olds with a good idea but no life experience. And I think this team has a bit more experience. They know exactly what they're doing in this industry. Now I want to talk about a few other sort of broader issues here. And I remember one of the first jobs I had, my boss told me that there was, this supercomputer in the US that monitors all your emails and phone conversations, and it was tinfoil hat stuff at the time. But we now know that to be true thanks to Edward Snowden. So people are worried about, privacy, security. We hear stories now about, your devices listening and to what you're talking about, and then these ads popping up and trackers, and people saying, how does my phone know that I even went there? I had my location and data turned off, or how do they know I was talking about going on a holiday? I haven't even searched for that yet, and yet I've got these ads popping up. So where do you draw the line here between content that users want to advertise and put under your nose versus the invasion of privacy here? So this is another issue that's hotly debated these days, and net neutrality and what websites we can even visit and all this stuff in the future. People are going to love a browser that has their best interests at heart. So we've spoken about a lot of the advantages already here, and the issues, screen clutter, and how we spoke about it, waste time and bandwidth and battery, all that sort of thing, and then how BAT plans to resolve these issues. So I just want to show you, the viewability metric they talk about here. So let's just bring up coinmarketcap.com. I've obviously got my ad block turned off here just for a second. Here we've got that banner along the top, another banner along the top here. So we've got some return airfares. My fiance and I are talking about maybe going on a holiday, and yet here it is. I have not searched for that on this computer, yet here it is flashing up. And obviously another ad under here, you might not be able to see that beneath the display there, and another one along the bottom. So this is a pretty basic website that's already got half a dozen ads popping up on it. You go to those big websites, investing.com, marketwatch.com, they are just absolutely littered with ads. And in the BAT white paper, it talks about how, if you've got an average internet connection in some countries, that's taking up to a minute to load just because of all the ads and trackers and that clutter in the background. We hear about, Monero mining being embedded and all that sort of thing. So big demand for a safe browser that users can trust, I think, as well. Now they have got this referral program going, guys. So if you're a content creator, whether that be YouTube or a blog, or you've got a website, I'll put my affiliate link down in the description. I'll leave it up to you if you want to use that or not. But I definitely recommend checking out this Brave browser, and they're giving $5 of BAT tokens for users that are active for a month. And have a play around with this browser. It tells you here how many ads it's blocked and trackers it's blocked, and how much time you have saved by running this browser versus others. So it's pretty cool. I've only just checked it out today, guys, but certainly one that I may use to look more in the future. So what do I think about this project as a whole? So I definitely think that this has got a huge market share. We saw those ad revenues just by quarter there for Google and Facebook, and it's in the tens of billions of dollars now, guys. So if BAT can just cover a small percentage of that, they're definitely breaking into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Users are worried about privacy and security, performance, those things that we mentioned. They can pay their favorite content creators in BAT tokens. They can get paid in BAT tokens themselves if they're watching ads that they actually may be interested in. So, the BAT browser knows what websites you go to and the time you spend there, while it still keeps you anonymous. So it doesn't know who you are or anything like that. It's got this all on the blockchain in a far less invasive manner, and that's what I like about it. That's what publishers are going to like about it, and why they might use this in the future. Users are going to love it. Advertisers are going to love it. The lower cost for them. It's cutting out all the middlemen, less fraud. They know that what they're paying for is getting to their end user. So guys, I certainly think that this one is one to keep an eye on. It had a run up like a lot of things here towards $1 billion. And at one stage, the market was valuing a lot of these platforms with big user base and active products at around $1 billion. So it's pulled back a lot, like everything. On their roadmap, as I mentioned, it's probably a few months away, the middle of this year, when they really want to roll out more of those plugins and extensions and the first real versions of the BAT browser and so on. So, maybe look to accumulate this one before it has those big upgrades in the next few months, guys. So I'll leave that up to you. Certainly a project that's solving a real world issue. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share these videos around, and as always, thanks for tuning in, guys. Cheers.